Hello.
Hello?
They should be able to hear us.
Hello? Hello?
What just happened, dude? We just got Dobie bombed.
Hello? Oh, gosh.
I think they can hear you now.
Can they? You guys hear me? I can't. Oh, no.
They should be able to hear you, dude.
I don't know. I mean, I'm waiting for a comment that says I can hear you.
Working. There we go. Hey!
We good? We hear you? Okay. Holy cow! It's really hard to stay positive on Positive Friday after that shenanigans.
That's not right. There you go. That's TA Tim, everybody.
Oh,
Right in the lower third. There you go. Boom, 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 bang.
Whew. Okay. What you guys didn't hear me say earlier when I was muted was Smay is the GOAT of technical directing. YouTube tried to hold him down, but he said, no, YouTube.
No, YouTube.
We're going to force this to happen.
You don't hold the Smay. You don't hold the Smay down. I was out here scrambling like a chicken with his head cut off, trying everything in my darndest power to get this stream to go. And there we have YouTube saying like Gandalf, you shall not pass. And I took my little fiery whip and pulled YouTube down. And now here we are. We're here. And all the craziness of YouTube basically just like ruined our stream software. So now I had to go fix the camera and fix the
we've been like 2 minutes late before. That's 20 minutes. That's rough.
And just on time. Here's CVO.
Yeah, guys. All right, we're gonna get into this. You know, this isn't a normal stream anyway. So those who are watching back, if you've watched this far, which I don't know why people would at this point, it's gonna be a good show. You know, normally there's not a whole lot of news here recently. Today is one of those days that there's definitely gonna be things that have happened that we're not gonna talk about because there's too much to cover. And we're gonna go late. This show's probably gonna go to closer to 11:30. That's okay. We're talking about this crash that just happened yesterday. And crash is a strong word, but those are pretty stinking big red candles on almost everything over on the crypto charts. We're gonna be talking about that. The biggest thing, though, I think, is of course what's happening with Cardano. Because I'm just gonna have to come out and say it. You know, this isn't fun. When you're an influencer, it's not fun to say I was wrong, and then you don't get any credit for when you say you were right. But guess what? I'm just gonna focus on when I'm wrong. We made a video yesterday talking about how I thought Cardano would outpace Ethereum over the month of September. And then literally a couple hours later after we made the video, it was announced that testnet failed. So I still am very hopeful about Cardano. We're going to talk about that in the market pulse. But I will say that is definitely for all the Cardano naysayers out there, the haters. You get a point today. You get a point. It's not over yet. Cardano is definitely not a dead project, but it will be delayed when we have a pump. We had a lot of things planned for this show. Oh, you have something wrong?
Well, no. Oh, yeah, I know you're a little nervous now because I'm
really scared.
No, I was gonna say after you're done with that, I would like to give a word from our sponsor.
We will. Today, the show flow is all off. What I did have, Tshroom was on vacation today. So it was going to be this whole big thing, and we're going to make a bit about it. I'm just going to go ahead and say it, though. Standing at the Tshroom desk is the man that some of you know as our customer service guy. It's Anthony. He actually replaced my wife here, a month ago or so?
I replaced as the customer relations representative, not as his wife.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we had. You're right. You know, you have to specify things because the internet will take certain concepts and they'll run with it. No, I am not married to Anthony. He replaced the job my wife was doing as she got a job as a teacher at a local private school. So when you guys email us and you yell at us, you're really just yelling at Anthony.
This is the sad little puppy face that you were yelling at. But
Yes, it really
but
is
thank
a
you
sad little
guys
puppy
for
face.
everything, for being so patient with everything we've been going through with Club DeFi and for the stream today. Actually, didn't expect that was me. Actually, I did this all.
Yeah, that was all.
Yeah, he came in and tackled Smay's desk.
He's the only change in variable here, so I'm gonna definitely blame
Munched
him.
on some cables, a little hungry.
Oh my goodness. Well, before I let you go, Anthony, before you can run off, do you have anything you want to say to people about crypto? What is your thoughts about crypto in general?
Well, a lot actually. I own all of it.
Good.
I'm the CEO of Bitcoin. This
You
is a
are
face
Satoshi?
reveal.
That's good to
Yes.
know. Now you guys have the face to it. He is Satoshi.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I am thrown off today. This is great. Smay, let's read some green names.
Oh yeah.
And
Green
you know,
names.
we probably need more coffee later, but
Give me 1 second. Stall.
Stall. I don't even know what to start with this. I am so flustered right now. This has been the most
I have to
frustrating
get like
morning.
completely reset up now because of the fact that
this is
I was
absolutely
like scrambling.
ridiculous, man. We are going to be joined by CVO today. So in case you guys are wondering, you saw in the description, CVO is joining the show. We're going to look at charts. I'm going to be running through Market Pulse here in just a second after Smay does the green names and the sponsor of the day, and then we'll be jumping on with CVO
I'm
here
ready.
shortly.
I'm ready for you.
All right, let's go ahead. What are those green names?
Okay, guys, the green names today. This is what I love. I love green names. All right, so we have Brad Geidel. We got Grand Roofing Incorporated. We got Win Peoples. We got Grand Roofing Incorporated. We got Sultan of Salt. We got Kevin Grims. We got Diamond Sauce. We got Christopher. We got our Cryptopher, actually. We got Freedom Advocate. We got Diamond Sauce. We got who else we got here? We got Grand Roofing Incorporated. We got Crypto AI, a mellow fellow. You are awesome. Go CJC, and so many more that I love. Matt C, all of you guys, I love you guys so very much. Now, without any further ado, Tim, what would I like to do?
You would love to talk about the partner of today's stream, who I'm so sorry for those who are signed up for Friday. This is going to be fun. But yeah, who are we partnered with today?
Well, gee, if you want something that just works, unlike YouTube, well, I'm going to tell you something that just works. Hedge. Hedge is the best thing that ever happened to crypto. It is literally the first step into a crypto future, the very bright crypto future you have to wear sunglasses for, you know? Literally the laser eye future that you see in the Bitcoin distant future. That is what Hedge is for, because Hedge allows you to get paid, literally paid in cryptocurrency. So, and you don't have to worry about your employer. Your employer doesn't have to even know about this. All you have to do, put in your credentials, boop, 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 and next thing you know, a percentage of your payroll is being devoted into cryptocurrency, and it's getting deposited into your wallet of choice. So whether that's a warm, hot wallet or cold wallet, which we prefer cold wallets, you get to have self-custody of that cryptocurrency from day one. Yeah. So that is one of the coolest companies in all of cryptocurrency. I'd like to tell you about it. But anyways, that's all I got to say. Back to you, Tim.
All right, guys, we're going to jump into this market pulse really quick. We did get 2 super chats. I'm going to read them now because it'll make more sense to read them now than later in the show. But Chris Mo said Tim's signature yell of frustration is incredible. That is all. Thank you for that. I will, I yell when I'm just myself. When I'm upset, I yell. One Voice 92 said, breathe, brother. We're here now. Let's talk crypto. I agree, One Voice 92. We are here now. Let us talk crypto. I saw the spam up there of what is happening with the chat there. All right, we're jumping to Market Pulse. Usually this is Tshroom section, but with him out on some PTO, enjoying that vacation, I am running it for today, and it is a doozy of news out there. In case you guys hadn't noticed, everything was dropping. So there was a tweet that was put out this morning by Ali Martinez, and he's talking about how Bitcoin, more than likely, the reason it is dropping right now has a lot to do with what we see miners are doing. And if you look at this chart right here, it kind of shows you that the miners have kind of been taking advantage of this little rise in price to be able to feed some of their mining tools. If you guys didn't know, if you guys haven't been up to date on what's happening there, miners have been very concerned because they have not been profitable for a very long time. And this dip that we just saw happen yesterday, last night, in the price of Bitcoin, more than likely was sparked by miners selling and taking some profit so they can pay some bills. We'll talk more about that later when CVO comes back on, but in case anyone was asking what the heck is happening, why is Bitcoin dropping, that more than likely is what's kind of sparking that, along with the next story we're going to be talking about, and that is that the Fed prediction on what the September rates are going to be increased to is still a little confusing. And this number keeps jumping this morning. This is the tool that we always use, this Fed rate monitor tool, and it keeps jumping all over the place. Yesterday or the day before, I believe, we had as high as 72% of the people predicting what that number was going to be, saying still 70 or 50 basis points. But you guys are noticing as we continue to inch closer and closer and closer, this number is moving closer towards 50%. So right now, 55% still think 50 basis points is in the works, but 45 believe 75 is coming. And this is all on the back of what was a very confusing Fed announcement or Fed minutes release here on Wednesday, when even though a lot of people are still predicting the economy is going to be in a place where Jerome Powell will be kind of pressured to stay with, to go lower and go 50 basis points. It sounds like a lot of the other leaders of the Fed are still in mass support of a 75 basis point hike. And it makes a lot of sense because even though inflation numbers went down to 8.5, that is still way higher than we want it to be. At this point, I wouldn't even be angry if we went to 75 basis points and kept it there, but keep your eyes on this. That's another pressure that's really putting the Bitcoin price down this morning. But let's move into some good news with Ethereum before we get back to bad news. The Ethereum merge progresses 96% complete. Developers confirm the final date. Now, this date has been changing a lot, but it's nice that they finally come with a number. And I do believe I corrected someone on this yesterday, and it turns out I was wrong. They kept talking about September 19th, but as you guys can see right here in the article, it looks like what they're saying now is September 15th should be the date that Ethereum merge actually goes live. So put that on your calendars. Just remember, though, that Ethereum merge will not bring us lower gas fees and faster updates. It's just getting that proof of work to proof of stake, and then the real work can start. This has been coming now for a long time. 4 years, people have been waiting on this development. It is finally here. Be excited about it. That is awesome. Another update I have for you guys in the market pulse. I'm going to have to go to my charts actually to talk about this one. And we're going to talk charts here just a little bit. Ooh, come on now. Load for me. There we go. And that is looking at the chart of the DXY. This is also another reason why the markets are crashing last night and this morning. You guys know we've been talking about this for a while. The DXY or the DXY usually is moving in the inverse order that Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market is. And guess what it did? It is on a little bit of a tear right now. And I have you guys marked out with some angles you got to look at. But what's most important, I come down to the 4-hourly chart. We talked about this golden pocket. Wow, my internet is lagging this morning, man. This is rough. We're getting hit from every side here, Smay.
It's a Adobe attack.
This golden pocket right here is the level that we broke through. We were hoping to get a reverse right there after breaking out of this trading channel, but it does not look like that's going to come to fruition. Let me go and pull up the Fibonacci for you, and I'll show you these other levels that I think are significant to watch on the Dixie to potentially find some hope that we could reverse. The first one is going to be right here at about a 108.3. We're not that far away from it right now. That is the 0.786. If we cannot hold that level, there is something right here you could say about matching back to the daily charts version of what, come on, load for me. There you go. The daily chart candle body closes here around 108.68 that we had the peak back here on the 14th of July. But if we cannot hold that, watch for not only to get back to that 109 that we hit with a wick, then we're starting to talk about potentially could we start working with extension of Fibonacci, and you're going to start climbing. If that's the case, that's the narrative for if Bitcoin ends up hitting 11,000, if Ethereum ends up going back down to like 800, if Cardano's going down to like 38 cents, 20 or like 23 cents or whatever. We're talking about the Dixie being way up here around 110. I don't think we're going to see it if we just get back to where we hit and double top. But keep your eyes on what is happening on the Dixie chart because it is alarming. Now, let's move to the story that I'm going to spend the most time talking about. And again, I talked to you guys earlier about this, that I had to kind of make an apology about this because I didn't know this was about to happen. I made a video yesterday saying Cardano is setting itself up greatly on the charts. And we'll talk with CBO here in just a couple of minutes. And he'll show you, yeah, the charts were looking good. Guess what, actually, though? I'm going to give you a little teaser. The charts are even looking better right now, but we'll cover that here in a little bit. But in case you hadn't heard, there's articles all over the place right now with headlines very similar to this. Prominent Cardano developer says testnet is catastrophically broken. So let's just pause right there. That is quite the headline. Anyone who reads that headline and doesn't do their digging on what's actually happening is going to say, uh-oh, is Cardano literally about to die as a project, or at least is Vasil hard fork starting from scratch, and we're now going to have to wait years, something as we waited for Ethereum for 4 years to get its update going. Is Cardano sitting in a similar place? Here's the thing you need to know about this article. Let's start right here at the top. Adam Dean. So the source of this article, his name is Adam Dean. He's one of the most prominent Cardano developers. He's the one who's targeted saying that we could potentially have catastrophically broken due to recent discovered bugs on the Vasil hard fork testnet. All right, so this is really important that we pay attention to that name, Adam Dean. He is the source for all of the articles out there. Well, one of my good friends, and a lot of you guys know him, Dan from Crypto Capital Venture, has a video over here that he did last night. This guy right here, that's Adam Dean. This over here, his name's Andrew. These are two of the people that released the story that said that Cardano had a bug. They are two of the, what are they called? The SPOs, the stake protocol operators, I think. Staking pool operators, sorry, SPO. And they're the ones that talk to him. In this video, I'm not going to show you guys the video. Go watch this video right now. Urgent Cardano alert, testnet trouble, mainnet disaster avoided. What they talk about is not that Cardano is about to die. They're simply saying that Cardano and their team ran a lot of tests. They thought everything was good, but when it was sent to the community is the one that actually found the bug. So let's just pause right there. A lot of people are saying, uh-oh, is Cardano broken? Uh-oh, is Cardano moving too fast? How beautiful is that Cardano is set in a place where the community has the ability to test these bugs, catch them before the full release, and actually fix something about it. That is called decentralization. And if you go over to his Twitter page, Adam Dean, that guy in the middle, he literally said on Twitter, if my post today scared you, good. Ask your Cardano SPO if they are testing on testnet. Ask your favorite dApp if they're testing on the testnet. We have an amazing community, and at Input Output HK has core developers that they are not immune to developer blindness. Pretty much what he surmised on that video that I was just showing you guys. He talks about, listen, we sometimes get spoiled in the Cardano community because they're such a great team that 99% of the time is doing everything the way they should. But you got to remember, they are still human. They do make mistakes, same as everybody else. And this is a great example of a testnet doing exactly what it needs to do. It catches the bug before it destroys millions of people's lives. So a lot of people are going to look at Cardano today and say, uh-oh, what's happening to Cardano? But really, in all reality, what we just saw happen was a very beautiful thing about how Charles set up Cardano to make sure nothing happens without the community's consent. Charles himself went to Twitter saying it's bizarre, and I'm assuming that word he meant is alarming, but we all have our typos from time to time. It's bizarre and alarming seeing these videos floating around that things are rushed with 1.353. That's this update that just happened. The code in question has been thoroughly tested for months by everyone, including the SPOs. The code was an issue on the testnet, and it has been removed. He went on to say in one of the, he tied to this, we, of course, could as a community delay the launch of Vasil for a few months to retest code that has already been tested a dozen times and is already running. Is that worth it to all the dApp developers who have been waiting for this update for almost a year now? You're the SPOs. You ultimately decide. I'm seriously tired of taking the blame on both sides. Cardano is decentralized. People running the network ultimately decide upgrades, not me. Again, just kind of backing up what I was talking about right there. Charles has set this thing up that he can't just say, I don't care what everyone thinks, I'm going to go ahead and hit it. It's up to the SPOs to actually decide it's ready to launch. And there's been a lot of pressure. This is the narrative of what's happening here. There's been a lot of pressure in the community to go ahead and get things going. You guys remember a couple of months ago when the CEO or the guy who leads Solana kind of outstayed, and he kind of talked about Cardano's team. They just move so slow. They wait for everything. They're like, I think he said like college professors who do things slowly. No, they're not college professors that do things slowly. They do things the right way, and they wait for the community to know. And some SPOs want us to get this out now. They want us to compete with Ethereum. Because guess what? Ethereum is about to launch. Ethereum 2.0 merge is about to launch. It would be really nice if Cardano could beat them to the punch. But what Andrew and Adam are saying in this video, back they're talking with Dan, is, hey, we don't need to do this fast. Let's remember what makes Cardano special. It's that we do things the right way. We don't do it too quickly. So I want to hear what you guys think in chat about that Cardano situation. Some people are going to say that this is really, really rough for Cardano. But in reality, when you dig deep, even the sources who outside the story say that Cardano is an extremely bright future. It is going to continue to be an amazing project. And this is actually one of the things we should look back on in history to say, this is what makes that Cardano team special and that community different than any other community in the space. But again, I want all of you to be entitled to your own opinion. Do your research, think for yourself, invest wisely. That is all we have for you guys here in the Market Pulse. Whew, that was a whole lot, Smay. I'm going to pause here for just a second.
I'll tell you what. You know what else is catastrophically broken?
What is?
YouTube. And you know what I feel like we are here at the Coffee and Crypto team? We are the SPOs, right? We found that bug in the code and said, hey, YouTube, this is a problem. And you're not going to hold us back. And now here we are live. So this is an encouraging story. So is the story of this stream. And it's kind of fitting that it happens the day that we're covering this story. Right, Tim?
I mean, it is really interesting. I don't want to say fitting, though, because that was just frustrating and a half.
Yeah, but how do you think the SPOs felt?
Well, I'm sure they're frustrating and a half.
So we are Cardano SPOs in this metaphorical sense.
This has just been a fun show. You guys get to see, how we are behind the scenes. we're family now. Like we're all family here. Thank you so much, everybody in chat. We got like almost 800 people in chat. You guys, thank you so much for sticking with us through all these problems. I know it would have been very easy just to say, you know what, I'm giving up on coffee and crypto today. I'll just go find somebody else. But that's, talking about the Cardano community, how about this coffee and crypto community? It is absolutely the best community in all of crypto YouTube.
Speaking of community,
what do you got?
We have some lucky, beautiful merch winners today.
We do! Thank you for reminding me, Smay. You guys remember on Wednesday, I announced that we were going to be giving away 5 free merch items. And I said, if you guys went to the comments and you commented how you found our channel, 5 lucky winners would win.
Woo!
We only had 5 people do it, so they are the winners.
Woo!
But I'm going to read you guys the names and then tell you how you can go about collecting your free merch. But congratulations to Troublesome Creek, Deepak, now this one's hard, Gursahani?
I'm not gonna repeat that one.
I don't think that's right, but it's what his name is, or her name is.
Read it one more time. Give it one more college try.
Deepak Gursahani.
There it is.
Congratulations. Win Peoples. Queen. I know Queen's going to love that. I see Queen here every single day in chat. Queen, you're getting free merch. And the last one is Crypto AI. You guys are it's not really lucky. You just did what I said to do, and then you won merch.
Yeah,
so
all 5 of you.
What you're going to do is make sure you email our support team. Remember that Anthony you just saw here a couple of minutes ago? Email Anthony and identify who you are, and he will send you a link with a code so you can go in and get any item you want for free. And if something happens, I'm on top of it. I know your guys' names. I know you guys are getting free merch. I will make sure that happens.
Gee, Tim, what's that email?
support@cryptojebb.com.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're still fixing some of this stuff around. You can't do it all like that.
Do you have an example of merch that they can expect to find on the merch page?
Ooh, I can show them if they want.
Well, you have it's right next to you.
Well, I don't think this cup is on there yet.
Oh. Well, it's gonna be. Woo!
It will be. Shop all. If you guys want to go to what we got here, go to my screen here. Quick.
I'm on your screen, dude.
Our old merch right here. You still got Smay and a ladder, Smay a Tang versus Crypto Beard mug. That's a fun one. And the shirts
Still
as
my
well.
favorite.
Then we have our new merch. Oh, the cup is there.
Yeah,
oh, never mind.
see,
Okay,
I told you.
There we go.
See, look.
Perfect. And here's what's cool. The option you have here is white. This is one of my favorite. I'm just gonna say, if I had to choose one of these items to get, and you guys get to choose whatever you want, but I like this shirt. But I really like, I guess I have to scroll down here. I really like when you come down and you get like the navy one. The teal one's good too. And then I didn't even notice it till yesterday. That like cream one.
I love the cream one.
That is really no hate against the white shirt. The white shirt is nice and it's clean. I'm a bigger fan of the navy, the teal, and the cream.
I'm definitely gonna rock that cream.
You guys decide what you want. So those are the winners. If you loved any of that merch and you're like, Tim, can I get some of that? Absolutely. You guess what? Go to right now. We're changing the URL later, but cryptojebb.com. Go to the shop all, and you can go get some merch for yourself today. #FinSolve.
#FinSolve.
It's a big deal. But with that being said, this is the time we normally go ahead and jump into some charts. And I'm so happy to be joined by CVO today. You guys have had him on here before. He's amazing. He literally just does altcoin trading. And so I'm really excited to get him on here. And we're going to dive into some of these charts and look at these dips and what's significant and what is not. So, CVO, you hear me?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
What's going on, dude?
It's stressful Friday, baby.
It's positively stressful Friday, I guess is the best way to put it. It's been a day. It's been a day. But yeah, I want to go ahead and just jump right on in. I know you were watching the show here. What are you seeing on the charts? Let's start with Cardano because that is the big topic of the day. And then I want us to also talk about Ethereum and Bitcoin as well. I know you don't do Bitcoin as much, but I know you look at that chart. Let's start with Cardano. What are you seeing on the charts developing that people should be aware of?
Sure. I was gonna say I could start with Bitcoin actually, and then kind of.
Do you want to work? You want to start with Bitcoin? I'm. After the way this show started, I'm all about flexibility for the rest of the day.
Yeah, let's do that because it kind of coincides with the altcoins obviously as Bitcoin's gonna lead the market a bit. So the last time we were on, I don't know if I necessarily covered any Bitcoin. I know you guys kind of tend to go over that, but just kind of looking at this in the sense of a range here, right? So for Bitcoin, obviously we bottomed out at least locally around that 17,000, kind of trickled our way to the top. Everybody's got their eyes on this golden pocket right up here at this $26,000 region. There's an untapped quarterly key level up here. And what we actually ended up running it up to essentially was the 0.5, right? Came up, took that nicely, and then came down. And where we are right now is very interesting because what we in turn did was broke out of this range, kind of back tested it, ran it up, tagged that 0.5. And then what you did was pretty bearish, right? You came back into the range and you back tested it right here. So with that, at the time, this is now tapped, but I had this on the chart last time I was on here as well, because we did leave this up here. This is a high time frame average of price from last month that we did not hit until just now as we kind of just came down. So this was an interesting level to kind of pay attention for. It was about 22.2. Obviously, we kind of blew right through there. But what we did here was when we came back in, we back tested this high. Essentially, you're targeting now the point of control, which is basically where we kind of just ran it back down to. The correlation between that point of control and then our low to our recent high now also comes in right at a golden pocket. So there's a little bit of confluence right here. Looking at a 4-hour time frame, you can see some pretty nice bullish divergence, starting to shape up. So, can we go lower? The deal is with that, as I'd be looking for this point of control, like 21,200, give or take. If we start closing the daily below that, then you do have to start anticipating coming back down to the range low. But right now we are at some major support. You got some confluences there. You got the bullish divergence starting. You've already been printing for quite a while at this point. So, and we're in oversold territory, which can always be a little bit more, I suppose. But
now I have a question for you, real quick, before we move on. So with the golden pocket, and here, this is going to be a great point for everybody who's watching, who's trying to do their own technical analysis. The good thing about Fibonacci and finding those golden pockets is there's a lot of different ways you can do them by using certain bottoms, certain tops. So I wanted to ask you, because my chart's going to look a little different. What did you start with when you built out your Fibonacci? What was the bottom you started at to get the golden pocket at the level we're at currently?
I was pulling it right from that CPI dump, right? The 18,857. So
gotcha. Good to know. Yeah, so because when you can go to my screen here in just a second here, Smay, my golden pocket that I have actually is a little bit lower, but what I did was I went back all the way to that 17.6 wick, the bottom, up to this, because the reason I'm gonna say this real quickly, my reasoning for it, and I want to hear what you think about it, is we've been talking about how we've been in a primary bear trend now ever since November. Everything's been down. Until we reconquer 32,000, this is a primary bear trend. What was good about what we were doing, though, is that we were in a secondary uptrend. However, my opinion is that we have broken now. We are now in a secondary bear trend, and the reason why is because we're no longer setting higher lows. When we broke through this little blue box you can see on my screen right there, that is starting the secondary bear trend. And so I'm going back to where this trend started, in my opinion, this lowest low of them all. And then I'm saying the golden pocket probably is going to be somewhere around $20,000, $20,100. The golden pocket you're talking about, this is really cool how Fibonacci works. That's what I have as my 0.5 level, around that almost $21,100 level. We are sitting right there. But I want to hear what your thoughts were on that. Is there anything that you would say to people about why they should be using their Fibonacci range from that wick rather than from using the bottom? Or do you think you can do either one? It's just about reading it the way the market's moving.
So, yeah, I mean, it really comes down to, what you're looking at in the moment. I mean, there's several golden pockets here if you start pulling them, right? I mean, you can start from the low here to obviously, as we've made our way up, there's several on the way down, and you could pull from each low. Obviously, you could even pull from the recent low, 20,800, which we probably would have just blown through either way. So this one is the one that's most relevant at the moment. There is the next one down, and it's kind of like pairing the confluence at the time, right? So yeah. Could we, completely just melt from here and drop down to the next one that you're paying attention for? Absolutely. We'd have to get through this one and the point of control. And that's kind of where I try to but pay attention to what's kind of relevant at the time.
Yeah.
And then once this kind of gets lost, and then it's, essentially you're looking, to the next one, right? So very similar to this golden pocket up here. I mean, this is like the macro golden pocket from the way down. But you can pull this from like every high and, get a secondary one. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here. This is just the most relevant one, in my opinion, at the moment that we haven't, necessarily reached quite yet. So I hope that answers that question. But it's, it's a little subjective in that sense, because it just,
yes,
if you're looking only for that, the overall, then yeah, I mean, absolutely, you could look for that. And then I'm sure that this area right here would probably be, the 0.5, or it would kind of coincide with another level on that. But for me, it's the confluence of, where we are otherwise in the chart. And like I said, the point of control comes in at that region. That is our local low at the moment, before we kind of came up and made this high. So that's why I chose to build it there.
That's it. And again, great point. But it's really cool, just so anyone who's out there watching, and I know you know this already, the Fibonacci tool it's actually a very forgiving tool. As long as you're using peaks and bottoms, you can find significant levels. It is nice, though, to see other people using Fibonacci tool and see what they're choosing as those peaks and bottoms, so that you can, stay on board with them. But really, really cool. So I'm gonna, get back to you. Do you have anything else on Bitcoin, or do you want to start transitioning to some altcoins?
No, yeah, that was. I just want to kind of show the how we kind of re-entered that range, got a back test because Cardano essentially did something very similar. So since last time we spoke, so
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump onto some other charts.
yep. So I got Cardano up here. I'm not sure. There it is. Okay. So last time we were looking at this is pretty much the high time frame range for Cardano here, right? So I'd like to say we were probably dancing around this monthly key level last week or 2 weeks ago, last time I was on here. And we did come into some major targets, right? You had this once again, a nice golden pocket here.
Yep.
You got a daily level of resistance here as well. And then obviously you had Bitcoin coming up to those levels and this and that. So aim to some overbought territory. And then we were talking earlier, how the news broke on Cardano. And when you're looking at it in this sense, one of the things that I look for on the high time frames is, where the point of control is, right? So this is the highest level of volume that's, transacted in this, period of data. And being above that is where we want to be. Right now, it's not, amazing in the sense, if you're looking at this in the higher time frame here. However, we start closing a daily time frame to, later today, throughout the weekend. If we get back above this region, which is about 47 cents, that can change. In the short term, just looking at this, you notated already for Cardano, all we really did was from the overall low here to the high,
yep.
We ran it back towards the golden pocket, right? If you're looking at it in that sense right here. So you kind of came in this region. Problem is we kind of shot past it and we're a little, seemed to be back testing it a little bit. So with Cardano at the moment, looking at it in this scenario, you really want to see 47 cents reclaimed for more upside. Otherwise, you really do have to start anticipating a little bit lower back towards the range low. The one thing I did want to point out is that, once again, this is a very high time frame range here, right, that I'm pulling here with some pretty nice targets. There's an untapped quarterly key level up here at 69 cents and all the things we talked about before. Really would have to coincide with Bitcoin's movement at the moment, right? If it gets that bounce off that point of control, if we start, getting some of that bullish divergence playing out, obviously the whole market will kind of see a move to the upside. And what I did for Cardano here was I kind of built out a little range within a range. So if you turn that off in a smaller time frame here, you can see that Cardano pretty much did the exact same thing that Bitcoin did, right? So this is pretty much pulled off from like the last several weeks here. And we re-entered this range, got the back test of the high, and then just completely rotated to the low. So coming in around, some major support right here. Once again, you are below that point of control on a higher time frame. You're below that golden pocket. So, really want to see 47 cents reclaimed. But there is a little argument that, could be made that we are on some major support. Same deal, kind of going into the 4-hour time frame on some bullish divergence ideas.
Yes.
The only problem is not confirmed as we're still kind of, plunging. So,
yep. I was going to say that because that is, on that 4-hour chart, I don't even go to my screen. Let's just stay on his screen. That you pull up your RSI again here, looking at how low that is. I know a lot of people are worried about that price, but this is what's so great. I know you, CBO, know this, Kagan, Magic Internet Money, you guys talk about this too, is taking emotions out of your trading and just watching the charts. And it's good to know what's happening in the news, and it's good to know what's happening in fundamentals, but the charts are just so good. And we're seeing this price drop like this, but we're also watching that RSI drop, comparing it to the previous levels of RSI. Like when we get this low on the RSI, we're looking way back all the way, what is this, back on I think that's May. Back in May when we dipped, the RSI is returning to those levels. Look at how much we climbed since there. So I think it's really good to remind people, hey, sometimes you got to just take your emotions out of it for a second. Make sure you calm down, watch the charts. And sometimes, and this is what happens, a lot of times there's FUD in the market and people start freaking out, but the charts are actually showing it's about time to have a little bounce. And then there's other times where there's so much FOMO in the market and it feels so good, but people forget to go look at these things like RSI and be like, we're getting overextended and there's going to be a big thing happening. Notice like we literally, in the matter of a less than a day and a half, 2 days, I guess, we went from being overextended on RSI to now we're back underextended. Traditionally, when we drop that quickly, that low, unless there is a ridiculous reason why, and you could make the argument that with that testnet failing, that could be a reason. Although the testnet failing is a good thing, that's what a testnet's for. When you see us drop that quickly from overexposed and oversold to undersold, that is actually usually a good bullish setup. I haven't lost my faith in Cardano just yet, but that's just my take there. You can continue on with anything else you got for ADA.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree there. And then, just kind of looking at this as well, once again, you have to pay attention to some confluences across the board, right? And, for me with, I tend to trade a lot of the altcoins. I pay attention to the altcoins, and then Magic Internet Money, right? My partner in the trading group, he pretty much nails Bitcoin for us. So, we pay heavy attention to what Bitcoin's, likely to do there. And then when you start pairing up the two, then you start looking for some other things, right? So for Cardano as well, right? You're coming up when we came up into this region, you had a macro golden pocket here, daily level of resistance, and then you were also chilling at 80, on the RSI. So you were overbought, multiple reasons why this could have been, an area to really start, kind of, paying yourself a little bit, kind of being a little cautious, or just realize that, we're probably going to see a pullback, right?
Yeah.
And, another reason right there, right? Come back down, you back test it, lower high, back test right off that golden pocket, which is slightly something we could end up doing right here. Thing is, like, we're so overextended now to the downside. Can it go a little lower? Always. But for me, I think that everybody's really, quickly flipping bearish, and just pulling back in a normal setting here. I mean, the whole market kind of rallied pretty substantially in a not really a short term, but I don't see this as anything more than just a normal pullback at the moment, right? Obviously, there's some conditions that can be met for that to change, but and then even like looking into the 1 hour time frame. I mean, I haven't looked at that recently, but I'm sure that that's very over. Yeah, you're talking about you're just on the floor over here. So daily time frame for Cardano, I'd be looking for this to really see how this closes out. As you can see here, we kind of came up and just really held this region. You did close 1 day below it, shot back up. So be interesting to see where we close today. But like I said, 47 cents is a really big level for me, for Cardano.
And I'm even just looking at, just keep looking at your chart. I mean, look at that. If you can scroll a little bit, that fixed volume profile range, that range. Look at what happened here. There was bad news about Cardano. Yeah, it's not what everyone wanted to hear. But all the price did was just fall back to where it had very, 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 very firm support. That's what that fixed range volume profile that he has up there is showing us. We just dropped back down to our support level. One of the other reasons why, even though I admit that potentially we might have to delay a little bit for a massive Cardano rally, I still think Cardano is sitting in a great spot to explode here. And I know, and one of the reasons why is because I got to watch some TA that CVO was doing, where there are legitimate reasons why we could be seeing $1.20 Cardano here in the next couple of months. CVO, have you changed your opinion on that? Are you still holding to that?
No, I mean, I still think, that's, it really, I still foresee Bitcoin running it up to that 30K mark, man. So that's the determining factor. Obviously, it's not going to be just Cardano or, some of the alts just kind of running. I know we had some Matic and Quant and a couple of like outliers that kind of rallied extension, really substantial compared. But, if target for Bitcoin is met, Cardano, Ethereum, we'll take a look at the Ethereum chart too, and that coincides with a major target for Ethereum as well. So, but yeah, I still, I foresee that, and it's just like kind of going on the news, right? So I don't really go off the news as much. I'll be honest with you, right? So that's why I enjoy coming on the show.
Yeah.
We kind of get both sides here because, I just look at these things here, and it's, when you're looking at, okay, a couple of weeks back where we were on here last time and you're looking at, okay, we could run it up to 60 cents and then get a 20% pullback. What's the why at the time? Well, you don't know. And then out of nowhere, it seems you get, just this news catalyst that nobody expects. Right. So it's interesting to kind of see how that all kind of fares. And it can be literally quite the opposite when things pump out of nowhere too. Right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow it could come out and be like, oh, the bug's fixed or whatever the case may be. Right. Something of that nature. So very interesting to see, but I still hold that, we'll still see some upside here for the short term.
Before we move on, I love what you said right there. You love coming on the show. I love incorporating fundamentals into my technical analysis. That's what I really like to do. But the reason I do it is to help show you guys the significance of technical analysis. I want to show you guys on the daily chart real quick. And this is just an example of what he's talking about and why, if you guys are on the boat, like, hey, is technical analysis good? Is it not? Do you guys remember last year, those of you who were in the space, or maybe you heard about it, back when we had the whole Elon Musk shabacle of him selling Bitcoin, saying it's an environmental problem, and then Bitcoin just crashed, right? He definitely lit the spark for a major crash.
but what we had leading up to this point. And Jebb, I wasn't necessarily in and knowing technical analysis very well at this point, but Jebb talked about this all the time. Look at the RSI and look at these prices. I'm just going to go ahead and draw for you guys. The RSI was just getting obliterated. It was going down, setting up one of the most ridiculous bullish RSI divergences bearish RSI divergences I have ever seen. I'm going to go ahead and curve it just because it's not a really straight line, but we were moving up, and diverging all the more. What it took was a spark. The news, the fundamentals, they sparked what the charts had been showing us for months. So to say, oh, well, that was just a story where Elon Musk manipulated the market, that's not the whole case. This is actually a case where technical analysis told us we were due to correct. Jebb talked about this a lot back in the time. I remember it. Those of you who were watching the channel, you guys remember that. But it wasn't until news broke that it really sank into people like, oh yeah, we had to correct. And it's like, no. Even if you had never heard about Elon Musk, you could have just looked at this chart and said, wow, Bitcoin is way oversold right now, or way overbought right now. It needs to cool off. And that spark just made it happen really quickly. So that's all I wanted to say about that. That's why technical analysis is so good. It just really helps us stomach things and understand things better when we incorporate news.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, let's go ahead and jump over to Ethereum and what's happening over there, because Ethereum, even though I do think that we're going to see Cardano outpace Ethereum at some point, when we're looking at these dips, I was actually looking at it, and I want to hear what you have to say about it. Bitcoin and Cardano actually had bigger drops than Ethereum did. Ethereum, relatively, even though it still is dropping, is kind of holding up decently. What are your thoughts about what you're seeing on the Ethereum chart and what you think the future holds with the merge coming now, announced September 15th? What are you seeing?
Man, I've been this Ethereum chart has been unfolding really beautifully for me over the last few months here, right? So once again, I created this based on a high time frame range here, and I started off with this when we were down in this region, and from low to high, this is without the golden pocket above, 168% from low to high. At the time, it's like, oh man, you can almost not even picture it going, back to that region, when we were sitting down, even without the wick. I mean, just sitting at around 900, right at $1,000, right? Mm-hmm. So I kind of created this smaller range here, and I'll take the RSI off for now, just to kind of show some clarity. And we kind of built out this region right here. This is very similar price action to when Bitcoin was kind of ranging between like 18 and 20. And then we finally got that breakout on Ethereum here, ran it straight pretty much to the 2017 all-time high, got a little pullback, and then we straight ran to the, overall range high. This is an old range from last year, actually. So just a smaller area that I was kind of paying attention for. We kind of digging into this before we got into the bigger nitty gritty. And, pulling back once again, this is a daily time frame. So it's once again, still, found support on the 2017 all-time high, never closed a daily below it so far, broke out of the range. My next target was, at the time, it was this untapped quarterly key level. So this was 1844. Now it's obviously been met. And then we've come back and we've kind of starting to lose that here. But right now I'm kind of looking at these two ranges kind of within each other, because if this is like an area within an area, right? So almost if you're looking for, if you're looking at a falling wedge and there's like a inverse head and shoulders within it or something, right? So it's like a range within a range. And that high comes back in about 1650, and looking to see if we hold that to see how, things kind of play out. And on the daily time frame here, there's some major bullish divergence putting in work for Ethereum here. Once again, unconfirmed, because we're, not had a reversal quite yet. The only thing that kind of I want to point out is this untapped monthly key level that we did leave. So for Bitcoin, we had the same scenario, but we just ran through it, right? That was like 22,200. Obviously, we just melted right through. For Ethereum, however, that's at 1490. So this is an average of price. The statistics on this being met is pretty high. Not 100% by any means, but this being met at some point here in the near future is pretty high. So it's interesting to note that. And then if you're just looking at this golden pocket here now from the low to the high, that pulls, if we just continue to just melt to the downside here for Ethereum in a normal pullback setting, from the whole move up, you got a golden pocket sitting about 1300, monthly key level here. You've got a point of control. And, if anybody's looking at a heat map somewhere, I know that this has been brought up for a while, but regardless, this $1,200 to $1,300 region, I think would be the best place for fresh entries, right? And that means if you're looking for, long-term holds, DCAs, whatever the case is, hopefully you got in around these regions if you were looking to buy any more. And if you were, selling on the way up or whatever the case may be, or just in general, if you're just looking to enter the market, right? This is going to be the best probability, in my opinion, in the short term around this $1,200 region. I think that'll hold up pretty well. With that being said, right, we kind of broke out of this range. We're back testing a little bit. So now when we look at the larger picture here, this is the overall that from low to highs, pretty massive. And this really coincides, the high of this area here coincides with Bitcoin meeting 28, 29, 30K.
Right.
To me, I would imagine that we're going to, if we get to this region, it'll probably be around or after, the merge timeframe. So sometime next month. It's interesting to see how things line up with, the next several weeks here. There's like no major Fed meetings until the end of next month, I believe.
Right. Well, we're going to have CPI numbers again, and then we'll have a job report in September before we get those numbers. So there's still a lot of data that can come out to sway which way the Fed will go. But yeah, I think it's September. Is it 20th and 21st, May? Is that the numbers that we talked about?
For the Fed?
Yeah, the Fed.
I think it's the 21st. I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
21st.
I want to say it's September.
Or
yeah,
maybe,
they'll start meeting on the 20th, and then they'll give their announcement on the 21st.
Okay, 21st.
Yep.
All right. So interesting. Like I said, everything kind of correlates together in a timely fashion. So it's not much more room from where we are up to. I mean, it's 50%. I mean, I guess that's a pretty big move up to the golden pocket. You got a 40% move to the high here. And in the short term here, right, like just looking at this is like, okay, you're just going to, consider that, we are in a little downtrend here, right? Could just come back. You still got this untapped monthly. The idea I have with this untapped monthly, though, if we don't come down and tag it right now, it's very interesting because if we do manage to make our way up to this $2,700 region, this golden pocket, once again, this would be pay yourself day, right? This would be Bitcoin's at 30K. Yeah. This would be Cardano's probably trucking up towards $1. This is, everything's had another nice rally. And from there, this untapped key level would, and this is just pure speculation right now, right? Let's say we run it up to that region, that golden pocket. Now this entire move would bring us right back down to that monthly key level. So in a sense of a perfect crime, that's what I would be looking for, right? Is if we kind of turned around from here, like I said, even on the daily time frame right here, you got some pretty nice bullish divergence setting up. Not there, sorry. You got, 4-hour time frame, you got it pulling on the daily. I just kind of noticed that it was over here as well. So depends on how things kind of play out. But, for right now, I think we got a chance to really turn things around over here. The weekend might kind of bring us some slow moves, but for Ethereum, that's what I'd be looking for. Otherwise, in the sense of just like, are we going to just pull back from here? You still got that golden pocket area, that $1,200. If you wake up tomorrow and you see things at $1,200, to me, that's a really good entry area, in my opinion, right, for us to kind of continue back up. But I do think that we're going to meet this range high and resolve this pretty well in the near future here. So that would be what I'm looking for ETH.
Something I think is interesting, I mentioned earlier with Bitcoin, and I want to hear what you think about this. Do you think this is a bullish thing or a bearish thing for it? Go to my chart real quick, Smay. Remember I talked about on Bitcoin, the primary trends versus the secondary trends versus tertiary trends. Ethereum is still in a primary bear trend, ever since back here in November. We have been moving down, setting lower highs and lower lows. But secondary, starting, I would say probably somewhere, right around here, because this is kind of more of a flat bottom. This is when I would say we kind of started our secondary bull trend. This is the last one that has not ended its secondary bull trend numbers. And what I'm actually really looking at is probably right around here, which Fibonacci gives us a level of 15, I can't remember which number this one was, but 1556. If we break below that, I think then we break it the same way Bitcoin. If I go to show you the Bitcoin chart, see how we broke below those levels. We're now setting lower lows. Cardano setting lower lows. Ethereum's not doing that just yet. So I wanted to hear, in your opinion, do you think that is a case to say Ethereum is really strong right now, or do you think Ethereum just hasn't done it yet? And that's actually bearish for Ethereum because Bitcoin's done it, Cardano's done it, Ethereum is going to do it here in the next couple of days or weeks. Do you think that that's going to happen, or do you think the fact that it hasn't done it already is actually really bullish for all the Ethereum holders?
Are you saying because Ethereum hasn't made a lower low locally?
So Bitcoin's made a lower low on a secondary trend. Cardano's made a lower low. A lot of other altcoins have made lower lows. Ethereum has not.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things once again, right, where you identify levels of certain support and resistance, and you really do have to kind of react and have a strategy on what you would like to do when you get there. Right now, looking at this in the sense of we have a daily level of support that we just broke through, right? If you scroll over here, you see that there's nothing below us. So if Ethereum doesn't really get going right here, that $1,500 is probably going to come in pretty sweet, and also that golden pocket. I mean, like all this aligns in this region pretty well. So if things don't really pick up here soon, then I mean, I would imagine we're going to probably pull it down a little bit. As far as the idea that I mean, I think I just pulled Cardano's percentage drop. I mean, I think it was like 20%. I mean, Ethereum's at like 17. So I mean, I would say that everything pretty much pulled back relatively, together. The market structure itself, obviously, you could argue that we haven't put in a lower low as far as like literally taking out this low right here. But a lot of times too, for things we could see, a lot of the day traders right now, you could come in and sweep this low right here and then get turned right around. So for me, I'd be looking to really turn around and push back up above 1730. To kind of continue this uptrend to the upside. Otherwise, you do have to anticipate starting to see 1490 and then coming down towards that $1,300 and $1,200 region. But I think that everything, we'll probably see a little push higher regardless, even if it's just a little support bounce, even if it's back to this 1844, right? This quarterly key level, you're going to start seeing the head and shoulders pattern start to print out for anybody that's looking for that. But I think it's just going to be interesting to see how things kind of play out over the weekend, but it's kind of in a situation where, I mean, it's not looking great technically, but we also have just went through a 20% pullback. So, getting bearish and things of that nature and starting to short or anything like that here, probably not the best idea, right?
Yeah, I agree. The last thing I want to say about Ethereum, and I'll hear your take on this, because again, I love it. I love doing TA, but I love getting to hear other people who do a lot more. And it was funny earlier you said like I'm looking at a pretty, I think you said a pretty big time frame of the 4 hour chart, and I was like, oh well. 4 hour for me is like the middle. 1 hour to me is small, but you do so much trading. For you, those 1 hour, 4 hours, those are bigger time frames. Something I noticed when you were looking at this, even on the 4 hour chart, I'll go ahead and draw it. If you're on my screen here, Smay, we had a flat top developing right here, and the volume's going to show this as well, right below that golden pocket. But this level right here, about 1270. This was resistance. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches before we broke through, and yet here's the issue. I don't know if they could see. I guess it was in that corner where people can't see, could they? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can see it.
We never came back down to retest that resistance as support. And it's not necessarily a sure thing you absolutely have to. But I've noticed more often than not, the strongest levels are the ones that you come back down and retest. And the more you get away from these levels, there's sometimes a good argument to say you're gonna have to come back all the way down to touch them. Now there are examples definitely where you broke the resistance and no one ever tested it for support again. But it's kind of funny because, charts, if you're just looking at the charts, a technical analyst is going to look at this with no emotion and say, oh, hey, just like you just said, hey, there's a golden pocket down here at 12,000. We can come back down to this level. There's a lot of volume here. Versus a news or a speculative analyst is going to say, hey guys, guess what? We do not have a lot after surpassing this range. We don't have a lot of volume. This was all retail investors. If the manipulation were to get in a spot, if institutions in Wales who want to gobble supply get involved, they will manipulate the price down to these levels because this is the last level where we still had a lot of strong hands in the space. Almost everything above this was weak hands. There was just not a lot of resistance, which allowed it to move up really quickly. So I want to hear what your thought is about that, but it's kind of funny how, again, there are speculative analysts, there are technical analysts, and a lot of times they actually come up with very similar numbers. They just do it in a very different fashion.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree there. It's interesting when we go on the debate crypto. I mean, that's like the number one time when you really realize that, you have all these different strategies and techniques and, and then a lot of times we kind of circle the same areas, just for different reasons. But then it kind of breaks down into like what kind of strategy as far as time frame that you are using. Because I mean, as if you're going to go, what I'm showing you here, I mean, you start pulling up, VWAP, things of that nature. You got daily opens, you really zoom in. I mean, that's going to be your day trade setup across the board there. So, I mean, it's a little bit different in that regard. I know you mentioned the 4 hour time frame, so I just want to clarify that, you know, when I'm saying like these ranges are on high time frame, the chart I'm looking at is 4 hours as far as, you know, candles would go, but I'm pulling this data from like, this is 6 months of price action. So this range here is the average of price over 6 months.
Gotcha.
And that's what I mean by that, because you could pull a daily range, you could pull a weekly, you could pull a 4 hour if you wanted to, just very similar, like a moving average. So that's what I was kind of getting at with
that. Makes sense. I always love talking with you and Magic Internet Money because you guys do a lot more scalp trading. So you're constantly dabbling down there on the 15 and 5 minute chart, which I've done from time to time in the past. And to me, it gets exhausting. But you guys have such a good, I mean, if you guys are looking for a channel to help you scalp trade, I'm gonna be very honest with you. We'll talk through some things, but this channel, what we're doing, scalp trading is very intensive. It's pretty much like a full-time job to do it. So if you're saying, hey, Tim, Coffee and Crypto crew, where do I learn a lot about scalp trading? We can teach you how to read technical analysis, but if you want somebody to say, hey, how do I actually come down here and read these lower charts and do it well? These are your guys. CVO and Magic Internet Money, they are some of the best I have seen at the scalp trading game. So make sure you guys go follow them and talk to them about how they do it. But, you know, this has been a very strange show. We're going to probably be wrapping up here very soon. We're not going to have as much time to do community stuff today, and I'm very sorry, guys. But I wanted to, you know, before we let you go, CVO, anything else you want to show people, anything else you want to say to people, and then we'll kind of move on and wrap this show up?
The only other thing I was going to talk about is, you know, it's interesting, once again, like just kind of like, you know, finding confluence across, you know, other assets. And I know everybody likes to pay attention for the S&P or the NASDAQ, things of that nature. So, you know, as we came into a lot of these, you know, areas of resistance, some of these high targets, you know, at least in the short term, you know, pulling a range here for the S&P 500, just wanted to show that on a high time frame range base as well. We basically completely rotated the range in full, ran it to the high, and got rejected here for the S&P. So very interesting to see there as well. So would imagine we might get a little pullback, you know, back towards, you know, the $4,200 region at least.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to walk into the weekend here. I mean, it's 4,200 as it is right now, 4,227.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting to see how things will play out for the next week. But the weekend coming up for crypto, you know, tend to see some pretty decent, some odd moves, especially after we have a move like we just did going into Friday. So I would imagine we'll probably at least see, you know, some stability, if not a little bounce here and there. You know, everybody considers it like scam wicks over the weekend and stuff like that, or scam pumps, but that's just, you know, how the cookie crumbles in the crypto market. So
yeah,
I'd be paying attention for the altcoins for sure. And then Bitcoin, obviously, you know, turn around probably towards Sunday. But yeah, aside from that, you know, like he said, you know, Magic Internet Money and myself, we do other things besides scalping as well. You know, we do some swing trading, we do live trading sessions, things like that. So always a pleasure, Tim and crew. I'm really, you know, honored to be on the show, and you know, definitely like to come in de-stress with you on Good Vibes Friday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully, you know, this is Friday. We'll have a weekend to let YouTube, you know, fix their stuff, and we'll be back Monday and have a good stream. You know, it's what I was going to say. I was going to joke. I love that you brought up the S&P 500. I saw a meme the other day on Twitter that was like, you know, yeah, crypto and the S&P, they move similarly, but when S&P gets a paper cut, crypto bleeds out. It's it's good to look at the charts, but don't take them little point for point everywhere they go. But CVO, thank you so much for coming on today and bearing with all of this chaos. Guys, there's links for his Twitter and YouTube channel in the description down below. Go right now, follow him on YouTube, follow him on Twitter. I guess subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitter, because you will not regret all the great information that he has for you guys. With that being said, though, CVO, we will see you next time. Not the show yet. We're not going to wrap the show up just yet, but we'll see you, CVO, the next time you're on. I'm going to have you back on here in a couple of weeks. But thanks so much, man.
Yeah, have a great weekend, everybody.
Wow. Great. I always love having him on here. I'm still like I'm doing the best I can. I am frazzled on this show. This one is really getting me.
Let me help you out, Tim. Let me give you a little bit of a break.
You can give me a break?
Can I give you a little bit of a break?
Thank you.
Why don't you take a breather real quick? I'll take the reins real quick. Hey guys, let me tell you something. I'm calling all people with NFTs. Okay, and I'm gonna actually, I have an NFT that I'm going to use as well for this. But guys, I want you to tune in. If you own an NFT, tune into me really close. Okay. Really, like, I want you to lean in. Now that I said calling all people with NFTs. If you own an NFT, NFT artwork, and any kind of NFT. That's, I guess, maybe not an unstoppable domain, like a picture. It has to be a picture, JPEG. What I want you guys to do is, so we're planning something. We're planning something here. I want to let you guys know. We're about to be moving to a new set.
Yeah.
Okay, we're about to be moving to a new set, which means your beautiful Smay has to design a new set. And something that I thought of that I think would be a really great way to get you guys on board and have a piece of you on the set is that on my camera angle, on my wall, right? And this is going to be a different wall. It's going to be a different wall. There's going to be a gallery of NFTs, of your guys' NFTs, right? So what I want you guys to do is I want you to take your NFTs, take the JPEGs, and I want you to email those JPEGs. If you want your NFT featured on the Smay gallery, I want a lot. I want you guys to send as many NFTs. If you have 100 NFTs, send maybe the coolest ones, like top 10 the coolest ones. Send that over to support@cryptojebb.com and make the title Smay's NFTs, okay?
Yeah.
So obviously I'm not asking you for you to send me the actual NFT itself, just the JPEG, okay? Just the JPEG, so I can hang it up on the wall and you guys get to look at your NFT every time I talk. It's gonna be very exciting. So I just wanted to give that little plug. Make sure you guys do it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna be wrapping this show up. We're way. It's 11:23. Way over where we usually go. We didn't get to announce, and he's not in office for it anyway. Tshroom won the HODL trophy. Anyone who is wondering, we predicted this on Wednesday. We were late because Tuesday was obviously the last day of Jebb. We're transitioning channel. We predicted on Wednesday. Smay had the highest prediction of 24,500 for Bitcoin. Yep. I said 23,000 even, and Tshroom just wanted to sandwich me in there, said 22.5. But of course, because he's the lowest predictor, he won. So I want to know in chat right now, type it in chat. Did anyone predict lower than 22.5? Or even better, did anyone predict Bitcoin is going to be at 21,300? Let me know in chat. I'm going to take it at your word that you predicted it. But that is who won the HODL trophy this week. No presentation, no video, because Tshroom is not here.
Just for people, so I can repeat it, because I see some chats asking where. Support@cryptojebb.com. Okay? Support@cryptojebb.com. I think it's somewhere in the description too.
Yeah,
if not, I'll make sure I'll put it there.
Definitely stuff down there.
I think it's at the bottom of the description.
I also want to clear up for everybody. Speaking of support@cryptojebb.com and people asking, "Oh, I thought I entered for that giveaway." I remember on the show on Wednesday, a lot of people were putting comments in the chat, but I specified, "Hey, don't put it in chat. Go comment on the video." So this will not be the last giveaway we ever do with merch. This will not be the last giveaway we do with any of these things. But make sure when we get these announcements, pay attention to the rules. We want to see more engagement in chat. I want to see you guys in comment section down below, not in the chat section, in the comment section. Go comment your questions. Go comment your thoughts. This is a community that we grow and grow and grow as you guys engage with the channel. And so look forward to those giveaways in the future, but they will engage with you guys going to the comment section. So as much as I love seeing the chat, I love seeing you guys give your thoughts there. Make sure you guys go to the comment section as well. Guys, that is all we have for you in today's show. It was a weird show. It was different. YouTube really threw us a curveball, but you guys are the best community out there, and we kept this thing going. Smay is the best technical director. He refused to quit, and I love that about him.
And you know what I refuse to quit too?
What do you refuse to quit?
Real quick, because I saw where the ship was headed, so I need to technical direct here real quick.
Uh-oh.
You know what else wait. Dang, I forgot my segue. Anyways, guys, I want to tell you something real quick. You know what makes me really shake my head other than YouTube and YouTube's issues? Taxes. Taxes really are the worst. So what I want to tell you guys is here's the best way to make your tax experience come January the best possible. Well, first of all, you want to start planning your taxes now. You've been trading, you've been buying NFTs, all this crazy DeFi stuff. Well, the government wants it's a little cut. They want a little cut off the top from that. So what you need to do is start planning now what your tax liability is going to look like and how can you get that tax liability as low as possible. Well, we have a guy here that we love called Anthony Price. Anthony Price is our go-to crypto knowledgeable CPA. He knows specifically how to help you lower that liability when it comes to the DeFi taxes. You know, that stuff can be very tricky. There's not a lot of clear tax code on that, but he is here, specialized, ready for that. So guys, link down below. You guys can sign up for a free 15 to 20 minute consultation with him. And here's what's the best part about him. We love him. He literally will only take you as a client after that consultation if he knows and he's very confident that he can save you some huge money on your taxes. So make sure you guys go sign up. It's free. Sign up.
Real quick, Jeffrey Fritz, also known as Crypto Set Guy, said super chats, and that's because he gave a super chat earlier. So I will read his super chat. I think it's the only one we have not read so far. And he's been a member now for 12 months. Come on. That's awesome. He said, hey, Timmy. We're still waiting for you to update your Chrome. Here's the thing, Jeffrey. I did update it, and it's ready to do it again. I'm on Brave browser, and I updated it when you told me to here like a couple weeks ago, and I guess there's another update that came out. I will do so after the stream. I promise. We just had one come in from Magic Internet Money. Speaking of Kagan, he said, good vibes Friday. Enjoy the weekend.
Well, I like that guy.
Yeah, I like that. He's coming on, I think, next week. I'm not looking at the calendar. Where's the calendar? It's in the other room. Magic Internet Money, Kagan, he'll be on the show next week, bringing us a lot of deep stuff about Bitcoin. You don't want to miss it. But, guys, this is the last show of this Friday, and it's the first last show of a Friday for the Coffee and Crypto channel. Thank you so much to everybody who joined today, who hit that like button, who subscribed to the channel. Thank you for commenting and chatting. We are a community that is growing. We're transitioning away as much. I'm excited about the future. It's really sad that it's in the expense of Jebb stepping away, but we still have a very bright future ahead of us. So go ahead and continue to support the channel. This is all about you guys. We're going to be bringing on guests every single week that are experts in their field so that you guys can know how to move around this market profitably. So don't miss a single episode. Don't miss a single video. Every single Friday, we've been doing weekend wrap-up videos. Don't miss it. It's coming out tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be fantastic. With that being said, though, guys, I love each and every single last one of you, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.